who died as a hero but later on was found out to be a major jerk.
Jimmy Savile.
President Warren Harding was massively popular in his life, with huge national turnout for his funeral train after dying in office. Then a bunch of scandals came to light shortly afterwards, and he got quietly erased from the national consciousness.
Jack Welch wrote the book on corporate management in the 90s and 2000s. We've now seen through, amongst others, GN now bowing it was all bullshit.
John Paul Jones, one of the founding figures in the American Navy, was a murderer and an admitted pedophile who paid a man in order to sexually abuse his 10-year-old daughter.
Bob Marley, he had 11 kids with 8 different women and didn't raise any of them. Not even the 4 he had with his wife, whom he abused.
It's my estimation that every man ever got a statue made of him was one kind of sumbitch or another. Mal Reynolds.
TBH, I looked up to Gandhi in the textbooks, but then I learned the man undressed his own nieces and put them in front of him to apparently practice not getting lust.
Oliver Cromwell died in 1658 while holding the role of Lord Protector, which was both head of state and head of parliament in today's Britain. That is the responsibility of both king and prime minister. He received a lavish state funeral and was buried in Westminster Abbey. Then, 3 years later, they dug him up and chopped his head off. Cromwell's body was exhumed from Westminster Abbey on the 30th of January 1661, the 12th anniversary of the execution of Charles I, and was subjected to a posthumous execution, as were the remains of John Bradshaw and Henry Ireton. The body of Cromwell's daughter was allowed to remain buried in the abbey. His body was hanged in chains at Tyburn, London, and then thrown into a pit. His head was cut off and displayed on a pole outside Westminster Hall until 1685.
Ernesto de la Cruz.
Jebediah Springfield.
Many believed that Mr. Rogers was a decent person, but after his passing many affirmed that he was an even better person.
Chris Benoit, beloved wrestler and fan favorite, ended his life by killing his wife, son and then himself. He was even tributed on Raw before the truth came out about what he did.
Henry Ford.
King Jellybean.
Charles Lindbergh.
Jimmy Savile was undoubtedly the worst. General George Armstrong Custer.
I don't know if any of you guys are history buffs, but the more I learn about this Hitler guy, the less I care for him.
MacArthur.
Jimmy Savile, more than a jerk, a lifelong child molester and general monster.
Edison.
Steve Jobs.
Better question. Who wasn't found to be a major jerk on death besides Mr. Rogers?
Francis Crick and Watson.
Jimmy Savile.
Gandhi.